All successful people think on paper. Unsuccessful people don't think on paper. So think on paper, write it down and say, why am I worried? What's the difficulty? What's the situation? Define it clearly. Remember, mark of genius is clarity. The mark of failure is confusion. Number 4 is, ask yourself what are the possible causes. What are all the possible causes? So on. Sometimes you will find that 50% of all your difficulties can be solved by clearly defining them. Another 25% of your difficulties can be solved by determining the causes. Sometimes if you can determine what the causes are, then you say, well, if that is the cause, by eliminating the cause, the situation is solved. If you haven't figured it out in step 3 or step 4, the next step is to say, what are the possible solutions? What are the possible solutions? And not just all the logical solutions. Go beyond, think of a solution quickly, that seems like the logical solution, then ask yourself, what if that doesn't work? What else could I do? Roger Banks says, always look for what's called the second right answer. Once you have a right answer, you say, well, this seems like the answer to this difficulty. Ask yourself, what is the second right answer? A really good exercise, because if the first solution doesn't work, you already have a second solution developed. So ask yourself, what are the possible solutions? What is the solution and the opposite of the solution? What if we did nothing? What if we tried something completely different? What if we used lateral thinking instead of digging this hole and dug another hole? What if we got out of this job or ended the relationship instead of trying to solve the job or the relationship? What if we went somewhere else and started over? What would be the second right answer? This is a critical. From this point on, when you get to number 5, think and talk only about solutions. Think and talk only about solutions. Because of the law of concentration, because of the law of substitution, because of the law of attraction. Well, I'll tell you what happens. Most people talk about problems all the time. They think about problems, they worry about problems, they imagine problems. The difference between winners and losers, between heroes and non-heroes, successes and failures, is this: successful people, winners, are solution-oriented. They are about solutions, they talk about solutions. They're always asking this question, and this is the big question. Now, what do we do? What can we do from here? In other words, they are always future-oriented. They are always. All successful people think on paper. Unsuccessful people don't think on paper. So think on paper, write it down and say, why am I worried? What's the difficulty?